It's always a pleasure to have you join me on Ladies Talk Tech right on Idea TV, the program where we spotlight women who are doing so amazing in the tech space, in the creative industry. We focus on them to bring them to the limelight, give them, that kind of energy that they need for the work that they do. We recognize them, we appreciate them, and they're all across Africa, everywhere in the world, doing something very magnificent for the African continent. Well, my name is Chinatu Oji, your host, and today we have somebody who is doing something very spectacular right in Cameroon. So we'll go on a break. After that break, we'll have a feature play, and after that, we go to the next segment. So you see, it's going to be a whole lot of editing today. So let's go on a quick break. After the break, right up, we'll be having Rebecca Nongchong from Cameroon, who is doing something amazing in the tech space. Stay with us. Proud of her here at Ladies Talk Tech.
Number 1. Synthetic biology advances. Synthetic biology is pushing science into new territory. Using AI-guided gene editing, researchers are engineering organisms to produce biofuels, biodegradable plastics, and even synthetic meat. In 2023, Ginkgo Bioworks announced partnerships to design microbes that can manufacture sustainable chemicals at scale. Moderna and BioNTech are expanding mRNA technology beyond COVID vaccines to treat cancer and rare genetic diseases. The global synthetic biology market is expected to surpass $30 billion by 2030. By 2026, the line between biology and technology will blur even further, making synthetic biology one of the most transformative fields of the decade. So there you have it, 15 more technologies that, alongside the first 17 we covered, are set to define 2026. Together, they show how quickly innovation is moving beyond our screens and into every corner of our life, from the materials we use to the way we connect and even how we think. And if you missed part 1, make sure to check it out next. If you made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video.
Change has never been more urgent. As we grapple with the consequences of over-reliance on external funding, it is vital for African nations to champion and invest in homegrown priorities. Join us on Idea TV for inaugural Idea Government Agencies of Interest, IGAI, where we spotlight government agencies making strides in research, innovation, and entrepreneurship across the African continent. These organizations are at the forefront of fostering local innovations and supporting sustainable development. The first edition of Idea Government Agencies of Interest will roll out on November 21st. Join us as we honor and showcase the transformative impact of our governments in shaping a brighter future for Africa, only on Idea TV. Rebecca Nongchong was born on July 14, 1967, in the southwest region of Cameroon.
So my name is Rebecca Nongchong, and I'm a tech entrepreneur.
Her upbringing was shaped by she attended the Catholic University of America, where she earned both a Bachelor of Science and a Master of Science in Economics. After finishing her studies, Rebecca did not rest on her laurels. She gained valuable experience working with several organizations, the Inter-American Development Bank, Oracle Corporation, and as an independent consultant advising multinational clients. These roles gave her deep insight into both the financial world and the global tech industry, experiences she would later channel into her own venture. In 1999, fueled by ambition and a vision, she founded Appstec, based in Bethesda, Maryland. Under her leadership, Appstec became a global provider of enterprise application solutions, partnering with Oracle as a platinum partner and servicing clients across continents. The company has since grown to operate in dozens of countries, proving that an African-founded tech company can compete and thrive on a global scale. But Rebecca's contributions is not just in business. It's deeply rooted in ecosystem building. She founded the Africa Technology Forum, a non-profit dedicated to nurturing technology startups across the continent. She didn't stop there. She is also a co-founder of Active Spaces, a tech incubator in Cameroon, helping run innovation hubs that support entrepreneurs in her home country. Her influence extends beyond the national level. Rebecca has been intimately involved in AfriLabs, the Pan-African network of innovation hubs. In fact, she was appointed chair of AfriLabs in 2019, reinforcing her commitment to building infrastructure for tech talent across Africa. She also co-founded two angel investor networks, which are the Cameroon Angels Network and the African Business Angels Network, ABAN, critical structures for funding early-stage African startups. Rebecca serves on key advisory boards. She is board member of Salesforce.com Foundation. She sits on VC4 Africa, a major online community connecting African entrepreneurs and investors, and has contributed to global and regional development bodies. She was also part of the UK Department for International Development's Digital Advisory Panel and previously served on the UN Women Global Advisory Committee on the Digital Divide, as well as the UN ICT Task Force. In fact, she has earned more accolades over time. She was named by New African magazine as one of the most influential Africans in her home country of Cameroon, believing that local innovation matters through ABAN and CAN. She also channels investment into early-stage African startups, strengthening the continent's financial and entrepreneurial ecosystems. Her voice also carries weight at international forums. She has been a trusted advisor on digital development, inclusive innovation, and gender representation. Through her global board roles and advocacy, she amplifies the message: African tech is not a fringe story, it's central to the world's future. Rebecca's journey hasn't always been smooth. Building a global tech company and simultaneously fostering local innovation comes with challenges. At times, operating in African markets has required navigating infrastructural gaps, regulatory hurdles, and funding constraints. In her early business days, a Cameroonian subsidiary faced particular difficulties, a reality she has spoken about openly, acknowledging that scaling in Africa demands not just passion, but adaptability, strategic thinking, and resilience. Yet, these challenges have only strengthened her resolve. She has used them as lessons, not just for her business, but for others. She has mentored startups that are now thriving, supported young entrepreneurs to navigate the very obstacles that she once faced. Career appointment and leadership in AfriLabs, her continuous board roles, and her global recognition are all proof that her model works, which is to grow, give back, mentor, and repeat. One may ask, what is Rebecca Enonchon's legacy? First, she has shown what it means to be a global African entrepreneur. Someone who builds companies on the world stage but never forgets home. Second, she has helped institutionalize support for startup ecosystems through incubators, angel networks, and advisory platforms. She's not just building a single business, she's building a whole movement. Third, she is a champion for women in tech and underrepresented entrepreneurs. Advocacy, mentorship, and visibility challenge stereotypes, inspire younger thinkers, especially youth, all at once. As we reflect on her work, her leadership at AppsTech, her role in AfriLabs and Active Spaces, her angel network co-founding, her many accolades, one thing is clear: Rebecca is not just building companies, she's building real-time legacy.
So we created Active Spaces, African Center for Technology, Innovation, and Ventures, an incubator for startups. We created Cameroon Angels Network, a network to invest in the startups. And we started to develop and build the ecosystem, not just in Cameroon, but across the continent. Because if an African, a Black African woman in tech can succeed in America, of course, all entrepreneurs, the African entrepreneurs, can succeed across the world. Thank you very much.
And our legacy is a roadmap for the next generation of women, of African innovators, and of change makers. A roadmap that says, dream big, build for community, and live as you rise. Thank you, Rebecca, for showing us how to do just that. Thank you, Rebecca, for showing us how to do just that.
Rebecca is just a superwoman, and it's okay to call her a superwoman because of the amazing thing that she's doing, not just in Cameroon, but even outside of Africa. We are so proud of her here at Ladies Talk Tech, and she is, for this week, a Lady Tech star. We're so proud of you, Rebecca, and we hope that you keep going higher and higher in these giant strides that you're doing in the tech space. But right now, it's now time for the next segment, and we have a guest who is waiting to speak to us. Today, we'll be talking about tech spaces and the creative woman. And joining me to have this conversation is someone who truly embodies all three. Her name is Emanuela Abubakar. She is a product designer, educator, and creative thinker with over 3 years of experience building intuitive, user-focused solutions across SaaS, AI, Web3 education, health, and e-commerce. She's helped startups bring ideas to life and designs that are not only functional but deeply human. Beyond design, Emanuela teaches children.
As we grapple with the consequences of over-reliance on external funding, it is vital for African nations to champion and invest in homegrown priorities. Join us on Idea TV for inaugural Idea Government Agencies of Interest, IGAI, where we spotlight government agencies making strides in research, innovation, and entrepreneurship across the African continent. These organizations are at the forefront of fostering local innovations and supporting sustainable development. The first edition of Idea Government Agencies of Interest will roll out on November 21st. Join us as we honor and showcase the transformative impact of our governments in shaping a brighter future for Africa, only on Idea TV.
So joining me to have this conversation around tech spaces and the creative woman is Ella. Hi, Ella, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
We finally get to have this all-important conversation after a long trial.
It's good to be here.
Yes, all right. So let's just get right into it. Ella, you wear so many hats: product designer, educator, founder, poet. How did your journey into design and creativity actually begin? Take us to the root.
Okay, so regarding design, how it started about the popular COVID time, that's when a lot of people got into tech. Although I have been in tech way before then, but then I got into design in 2019. So a friend shared a link to a design bootcamp. I joined and I actively participated and gained a lot of knowledge about design. Initially, I used to code. I used to be a front-end web developer. So I wanted my websites, that's the web application and the website I built, to look better. So that's why I decided to take that design course. I never envisioned that I would switch my career from front-end web development to design. So that's how I arrived in the design field.
Okay, that's a very passionate and interesting turn of events that you have. But I'd like us to talk about something else. Many people see tech as logical and design as very emotional. So how do you balance those two in your work?
Well, it's just like when you're building a house, you have to build the foundation. It takes in a whole lot of like structure. And that's where tech comes in. Technology helps you have that structure, that ability to build products. But then when it comes to design, you have to be intentional in the way you make people feel about a technological product. So I would say tech is the tool that you use to build, while design is like the breath of life that you give that particular product. It's basically like the soul that you give a product. That's why when you're learning a language on Duolingo and when you're learning a language on Google, the experience is totally different. Fundamentally, it is created with technology, but the experience is different based on how each of these tools were designed.
The experience is very different depending on how you come across it. Well, I like how much passion you put into everything that you said, but Ella, I know that you've worked with startups and founders to turn ideas into real products. So what's that one project that you've had to work on that challenged your creativity the most?
Well, over the years, I've had the opportunity to work on diverse products in different spaces and sectors. I would say the most challenging so far is a payroll compliance platform. So I met the founder through LinkedIn. And when we had our first discovery call, I realized how passionate he was about this particular product. You know, We have big organizations, we have small organizations, we have like small teams that are like 5 people in a team, and then you have organizations that have like over 100 employees. So fundamentally, the problem that we wanted to solve was to make it easy for these companies and organizations to pay their staff easily without stress. If you know something about payroll, it is more than paying your employees like their salaries. It also has to do with compliance. It also has to do with ensuring that the salary breakdown is easy for the employees to get an overview of what their salary is about. It also has to do with remitting tax, necessary tax on that particular payroll, auditing and ensuring the documentation is up to par. So there were a lot of intricacies regarding that particular product. And as someone that has worked in an audit organization, I know how important it is to ensure that even when you're getting the payroll flow properly, you also have to ensure that the platform is compliant, because if the platform is not compliant, the organization would have to pay tons of money in fines. And I feel like the economy is too hard for you to like waste money needlessly. So there were a lot of things that went into ensuring that platform was compliant, solve the problem of making payroll easy. I had to reach out to a lot of people at the auditing firm I used to work. I had to reach out to people on LinkedIn to understand their process, to ask them questions, to test the flow that I have designed, to ensure that it follows their current process and not that when they see the platform, it is something totally new. And basically, at the heart of all, to ensure that it solves the problem, which is making payroll easy and compliance for organizations, both big and small organizations as well. So, yeah, that's one that I can mention. Yeah.
That's stunning to hear. That's very stunning. I'm proud of you, Ella, because I'm thinking about how the whole procedure must have been for it to get to this point. But can I just get this out? Is that project still successful to today?
Well, seeing that it is a very complex product and it's something that they just started building out this year, so it's still in production. But I will share the link with you as soon as it is live.
Oh, okay. We can't wait to see that. Well, you also teach children tech and design, which is very beautiful and commendable. How's it been like?
I would say the experience has been very satisfying. If you are someone that is around children, you know that this set of humans are always excited. So teaching children about tech, teaching them about design, it opens up my mind to different possibilities. Because when I'm trying to explain what, like, for example, if I'm teaching them about graphic design, how to design notebooks, I have to break down the design principles to relate it to something that they can easily understand. Because one thing I have learned from teaching children is if you don't break it into something that is simple and easy for them to relate to, they'll just be lost. You realize that, oh, you've lost their attention. So I've had to break down complex ideas into something that is simple and easy for them to relate to. Sometimes I'll ask them, okay, what did you do in school? Is there something interesting that you watched in a cartoon? So I use that information that I've gotten based on what they tell me to teach whatever design or tech principle that I have scheduled for that particular day. So it has been a very interesting experience. It has been a learning experience because I also learned from the children how to make things simple, and they have also gotten some interesting ideas having conversation with these children because their imagination is boundless. It's not like us that we are constrained to what is feasible and what is not, but for them, they just believe anything is possible. So yeah, it has been an interesting experience.
Which is enough for inspiration. They believe anything is possible. But Ella, do you think that a physical workspace has such a big impact on creativity and productivity? Does it have anything to do with how creative you get if your workspace or your physical environment is not giving?
About the various times that you have worked. Maybe you're someone that work from home, or you just had to do like a piece of work at home. Now think back to a scenario where maybe you came home and everywhere is cluttered. You just decide to carry your laptop and start working immediately. That's one where everywhere is well tidy, the light is good. Or I think a perfect example would be when there's light and when there's no light. You notice that your energy is different when there's power. But when there's no power, you may not feel a lot of motivation. But as soon as that power is restored, you feel like you've gotten an energy boost. So that goes to show that your space, your environment influence the kind of energy that you have, the kind of energy that you put into your work. So yes, of course, it's very building spaces. It was something I knew on a subconscious level, but after creating researches and creating workspaces for people, it's something that I've come to discover. Like I've had clients come back to tell me that, oh wow, I feel way better when I'm working. Like my energy has increased and all of that. So of course, your space affects how you work.
Your space affects how you work. I want you to give us a very little example. What do you think can help? What suggestions do you have, especially for women who are working from home or small offices? How can they create inspiring workspaces on a budget? How can women create inspiring workspaces on a budget? I mean, the men can steal this, but women.
Yes, of course. All right. So, based on my experience working with different customers or spaces, we've had customers that want to set up like a very elaborate workspace, but we've also set up like simple workspaces for people. And one advice that I always give, if you want to do it yourself, is just get a very simple table and a chair. Like have a dedicated table and chair for working. Now have some ground rules when you purchase that table and chair. Ensure that unnecessary items are not on the table or on the chair. An example is when I get to my family house, I have like a dedicated workspace, and my family, they know that you do not put any cup or anything that has to do with liquid on my decks. You do not bring any foreign material, so to speak, on my deck. So it's just like simple ground rules that you can give yourself and other people around you would also respect. It's a very, very easy and effective way to